Hey everybody, welcome all my home cooks, kitchen designers, tech savvy foodies out there. I'm Chef Andrew Forlines. This is the Chef AF Modern Kitchen Podcast. I'm your host, Chef Andrew Forlines with chefaf.com, here on episode 2 of our premiere series on your home kitchen appliance selection journey. We've really covered some great stuff in the first episode. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen to that. It's the start of this journey. Next step is finding the right appliance retailer for your kitchen project. So hang tight, stay tuned, listen up. We're gonna have a delicious time learning some new stuff today. All right, so this is episode 2 in our journey of picking the perfect dream kitchen appliance package for your kitchen remodel or new build. We're going to go through what kind of retailer, what kind of showroom to go with, and how to get all the different people in your project talking to one another and on the same page. So last time we covered the beginnings of the self-discovery checklist that's available on chefaf.com. That is the Appliance Buyer's Guide downloadable checklist. It's going to have self-discovery format to decide what kind of appliances you're going to be looking for, what kind of lifestyle you have, and what kind of appliances are going to best suit your needs. Now we're on to finding that retailer or the kitchen design showroom that fits you best. Now, what I want people to know is that the premium or the standalone appliance retailers are set apart and different than your big box stores. There's a few things that really distinguish them. Then I really do encourage people to go with a retailer who specializes in appliance sales. For one, the big box stores don't do any of their own install and delivery. They contract that out to third-party contractors who may or may not stay in business or stay in town. So something to be aware of is that 75% of all maintenance issues or failures of an appliance in the first year of their life is due to improper install. So we really do want this appliance that you're spending a lot of money on, that you want to work properly, to be installed by a certified installer. So when we go with an independent retailer, when we go with a showroom that specializes in kitchen appliance sales, you're going to have a dedicated staff that is certified by the manufacturers, they're insured, and they're going to stand behind their work. When you go with the big box store, you can be left in the lurch. If something goes wrong, the retailer might blame the installer, and the installer might blame the retailer, and it's going to be a lot of effort to get to the bottom of that. Whereas when we go to a retailer that specializes in appliances, we're going to have them stand behind their work, and we're going to have that dedicated team that can install properly, that are certified to work on those appliances from the very beginning to get them into your home, get them in properly, and get them working the way they should. So that's why I'm a big fan of the retail experience in a dedicated appliance showroom. Look up in your area appliance retailers, and you're going to find some smaller or medium-sized companies that are going to specialize in the appliance sales and delivery. The other thing to consider too is that big box stores, they sell a lot of what we call the commodity pieces. So these are our 30-inch slide-in ranges, our dishwashers, what people are most familiar with in the home space, in the kitchen. Nothing wrong with those, but you do have to be aware that sometimes these big box stores get specially manufactured product just for them. So it may not even be the same model that you think it is when you look up their brand online. It's because they're getting large production for just that retailer, which can be good or bad. It could mean that you're not getting some of the features and functions, yet they're selling that brand recognition, right? So think about that. We want to... The other nice thing about an independent appliance specialized retailer is that they are going to have all brands, much more brands than a big box store, but also all the way up to super premium, all the way down to your entry level pieces. And so you really do get to benefit, even if you're lower budget, from having that dedicated install team, from having the resources. These manufacturer reps are accessible through the retailer. So we do have regional reps that represent the brands that we're selling so that we can get them to help troubleshoot. We can get them to help find out when or what's available. And that's a great resource that you're going to have when you go through a specialized retailer that you might not with the big box stores, having that team behind that purchase. A lot of people go looking at what's the lowest ticket price, which doesn't account for some of the other things, which is the support team that's available. That's the process around it, all the reps and things like that, and the access of resources that we have as a retailer. When we specialize in appliances. The other thing is you're going to have those premium appliances. You're going to have those brands and that you're not going to see in other stores, and that you're going to have to go to a retailer of appliances just to see those. And if you're fortunate in that showroom to have them live, you can actually have demonstrations done. I work in showrooms demonstrating appliance products, demonstrating the technology, and helping people decide what to buy in the store, but also, what that technology is capable of. There's more new product than ever before. There's more technology available than ever before. So really, you're going to want some retail salesperson who specializes specifically in these home appliances. They're going to be up to date on what's available. They're going to be up to date on specs. So knowing what's going to fit where, and then also the requirements for your power, your water lines, all that kind of stuff. We really want that relationship between the salesperson and the retail to be communicating with your kitchen designer. Kitchen designers are really great at getting the layout, but they may not be totally up to date on exactly what's new. I mean, manufacturers are putting out appliances all the time, and we have to keep up with it. And so you do want someone that specializes in the large appliance sales. They want the large appliances, the brands that may not be in other stores. They're going to be able to really pinpoint what's going to suit your needs best, and find the right one. It's okay to go through a couple of salespeople before you find the right fit, right? You want to think of this person as a specialist, as somebody who can educate you through the process. You're going to want somebody who matches your style. Don't feel pressured. This really shouldn't be any pressure in this kind of purchase. When we're talking about premium appliances, large appliances, it's the third largest expense of a homeowner. You've got the home, the automobile, and then large home appliances. I pride myself in doing education-based sales. I don't do any direct sales, but I do the education part. So I think it's important to find appliance showroom, or the salesperson that's not going to pressure you or try to shoehorn you into a specific brand because that's what they like to sell. But on the other side of that, you can trust. When you get that trust with your salesperson, you can ask them, what brands do you see the most problems with? What brands do you see the happiest customers with? Online reviews can only tell us so much. Unfortunately, they really only tell us the worst case scenario and sometimes the best case scenario. But really what we want to look at is, what are our failure rates? What are our return rates? What are our happy customers? Salespeople don't want you coming back and having problems, because that takes up more of their time. So it's in their best interest to sell you something that works well and also can be serviced. When we're talking about selling a premium appliance, we also have to think about, what region are you in? What market are you in? Are there certified technicians who can service that? And are there parts available? A lot of our foreign manufacturers don't necessarily have the certified technician network that the established American brands do, because they're newer to the market and they don't have the resources behind that yet, and they haven't trained enough people up. Then they also may not have the appliance repair parts available. So it's really important to have on a pipeline, a network of available parts for servicing appliances. That's something to consider when you get an appliance. Something's going to malfunction eventually, so you're going to want something that has enough service technicians who can come service it, and enough parts available to service what they need. So that's something else to consider that goes beyond just the sticker price on your appliance. Is, hey, is this serviceable in the area of the country I'm in? And does this brand have enough parts available Do they really make sure, because that costs money to build those parts and to have them out there available. So we do want to consider that going into the purchase, because you might get something that's a little bit cheaper at the front at the purchase point, but it's not going to have those resources behind it longevity wise. That can really make for a frustrating experience later on. So that's something to consider. And those are the kinds of questions you can ask with the dedicated product specialist at a retail appliance showroom. And see what kind of resources they have in place. A lot of these retailers they're not the ones servicing your appliances afterwards. They're not the ones you're gonna get parts from. So sometimes that's the case, sometimes it's not. So get that clarified. And they can also direct you to who they like to have in the area service the appliances, because they know who they're working with. So it's a good resource to have, what technicians do they entrust in their area, so that later on down the line you don't have something fail and then have somebody who's not credible come work on it. Something to consider. So in your area, there's going to be some great appliance showrooms to go check out. You can go look through the brand websites. So say if you're interested in Monogram or Genair or Decor, or the Signature Kitchen Suite, you can go on those websites if you like those products, and you can look up dealers and retailers in your area just by putting your location. And that's going to be a great way to narrow down which showrooms have those products available. Not every big box store is going to have every product. And when we're talking, built-in appliances, when we're talking large ranges, anything over 30 inch, we're talking 48, 60 inch, when we're talking built-in wall ovens, these are the built-in appliance industry. So they're more specialized, and we have to work hand in glove with your kitchen designer to create the space to hold these appliances. They're built in and they're built into the cabinetry. So it's really important to have a retailer who works well with a kitchen designer. A lot of kitchen design firms have a relationship with a retailer who they like and trust and will recommend you go see. So if you start in the kitchen design firm as you're beginning your project, then they can refer you to a retailer. Now, remember to keep your options open. If you don't like them, that retailer for a reason, or don't like your salesperson, you can always ask for another or look around. But also, you want to think about trusting, or think about, that relationship that kitchen designer has with that retailer. And it could be a really good relationship that you're going to benefit from having that longevity there in that relationship. When we are starting our kitchen design process, you are going to have, if you're remodeling, you have an existing footprint that you're just going to replace your appliances in. So you're going to want those dimensions of those appliances. You're going to want to take note of those manufacturers and possibly the model of those, so that you can go into a retailer and let them know, so that they can guide you into what can replace those existing spaces. But when we're also building a new kitchen or remodeling from scratch, you're going to be able to decide what footprint to have. Here's the thing with our appliance portfolio is it's expanded so much, even in just the last few years, especially the last decade, that not every kitchen designer is up to date on the variety available. So a lot of times they're doing the old trifecta: range, refrigerator, dishwasher, and they're saying, here's the set space, now go find your appliances. Well, I work in the appliance showrooms, and these people come in with their design kitchen, and then once I show them all that is available, and they realize they're gonna need different sized footprints, so maybe they're gonna go with a cooktop and wall ovens instead of just a range, to get those advanced technologies like steam oven, induction, automated cooking features, that they're gonna have to go back and redesign it. So it's really good to think about all the appliances you might want ahead of time before you get that kitchen design build out blueprint, or work with a kitchen designer who is savvy or up to date with the appliances available. I work a lot in these appliance showrooms where we're just converting people to the newer technology, and they have to go back and redo it. So there's some kitchen design firms now that will send you to the appliance retailer first to pick your products that you like, and then they're going to design around those. Because the footprint is a little bit bigger on some of the newer technology, instead of having a single oven, you might really benefit from a double oven. And when you go double, you have to either do a range that's wide, 48 or 60 inch wide, or you're doing a double wall oven. The old convection double wall oven is really replaced now with a speed oven, steam oven on top, so a specialty oven, and then a standard convection below. So we are seeing a little bit more space, so that's something to consider that we were going to want to anticipate before going in for your kitchen design, or vice versa. You can do kitchen design and then appliance selection, but just keep in mind, you might have to adjust it. All right, well, that's the end of episode 2 in our appliance selection journey here at the Chef AF Modern Kitchen Podcast. I'm Chef Andrew Forlines. Thanks so much for listening. I hope that this was helpful, that you learned something that you can apply to your kitchen appliance selection process, your journey. And you can always check out chefaf.com to learn more about resources. I offer consultations, virtual or in person here in Colorado, but a lot of virtual consultations are available to go through your process, to answer some of these questions, to hone in on the technology that best suits you. So thanks so much for listening. Next episode, we're gonna go ahead and start diving in and looking at the brand map, so the appliance industry landscape. We're gonna do a little bit more finer look at what's available from American manufacturers, European, Asian, and then looking at the hierarchy, right? So the good, better, best towers of appliance brands and how they all relate to each other, and then which brands really do target different demographics, if they're going to be modern or if they're traditional styling or if they're looking after a specific type of consumer and how that relates to you selecting. So stay tuned for that on the next episode, and I hope this was helpful. So we'll see you next time.